Hello. I'm Cosmic Jack. Welcome back to my YouTube. I wanted to talk about high octave and empowered Aries energy today because I think that there's sometimes, a lot of times, a deep understanding, misunderstanding of what Aries energy actually is, how to use it, what that looks like, because there's honestly not that many examples on the world stage of like empowered Aries energy. And maybe that's not true, as like I'm thinking about that. I'm like, Celine Dion is like a pretty empowered Aries. But what I mean is like, Aries energy is war and fighting, and it is aggression. It is this energy, right? And it is violence, it is aggression, it is like bravado, it is like selfish tendencies. And, that is all really low octave Aries. And, I was having this conversation with I was in Palm Springs and I was at like a family friend's house, and we were talking about just kind of the state of the world and everything that's going on. And they're very well traveled, cultured people. And I really just was like, so much of the world really doesn't expand and exist beyond Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. Which it means that we actually consciously like live in a really emotionally immature reality. What happens when people are not conscious and mature and self-aware and have a certain level of like connection to God, source, universe, is it really manifests as like war, fighting over resources, and really kind of like gossip, and like really just like this existence that's like not like about evolution and expansion and change and oneness and love and beauty and like some of the more empowered energies on this earth that we're here to experience. And so I really just kind of wanted to speak into what high octave Aries energy is, because we have this influx of all this Aries energy happening in the ethers right now. And we see that on the world stage play out. But again, that's like the low octave shadow versions of it. And really, Aries energy is your greatest ally to shifting your identity and showing up in a world full of abundance and bliss and gifts and like the things that you want. Like embodying Aries energy is actually a really powerful way to shift your reality and have success. And so I just really wanted to speak to that, because you're really going to want to leverage like high octave Aries energy these next 4 weeks. As and really beyond that, as we're really entering this like Aries future. And again, we want to just make sure that we're embodying the light aspects of Aries and not the shadow. And so confirmation. So Aries at its, the genesis of Aries, right? Aries is your first house. It is, what comes out what's the first thing that comes out of your body in the womb? It is you come out head first, right? You come head first out onto this world. It's the top of your head. It is your head. It is Aries is the ram, right? So it's the first thing that the world sees. That's why it's your rising sign, because it's the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon when you're literally your head crowned onto this planet. TMI, but that's literally what it is. That's why Aries rules the head. It's the ram. It's your ability to put your head down and take action and assert yourself and just go, like guns, like have your horses blinders on and just go, right? And that is the energy. It is just like, I'm going to put my head down and just do it, and like grunt and bear it and go. Green means go. And that is really Aries energy. And so that's why Aries rules the head. It rules your face. It rules your eyes. It's your sinuses. It can be your blood. And like people who have imbalanced Aries struggle with sinus stuff, with headaches, with migraines, with skin inflammation, like acne. All of that is out of balance Aries. because that can be a lot of like inflammation. So if you're someone who has like an Aries moon, if you have strong Aries energy in your chart, if you have a sixth house Aries, you're a Scorpio rising, like you need to be taking so much physical action and exertion and really working out your physical body. I always say you need to get your pitta out of your body because you're naturally like hot, right? And heat rises. And so we don't want any inflammation in the body because that like manifests in head things. And so your temperament is always going to be better when you're taking action, you're competitive, you're moving your body. And so Aries is about, it is that like newborn identity. So if Aries is it's infancy. It's like the seed level of something. It is planting the seeds. It is starting. It is initiating. It is taking action, right? It is moving the energy forward. And if you think about like a newborn baby, how everything in the home literally like goes towards the baby. Like there's so much that has to happen to prepare for the baby, to tend for the baby. Like it literally is a life-changing experience, like when you become a parent. Not that I know, but you know what I mean? Like it's like so much of the energy of the home like re-navigates to revolve around the baby. And so that's why Aries can get like a bad rap for being selfish, because it's actually kind of like that newborn like mentality, if you can call it that, where it's like everything revolves around me. Because like in a newborn home, it is like in a newborn's home, and everything does revolve around the newborn because it's all about the newborn survival. And so Aries can actually be really survivalistic from that standpoint because they're trying to survive. But I always say, like, people who have strong Aries energy, it's like just because it's the first, it doesn't mean that like that's all that there is. Because right, there's 11 signs after Aries. And so you're going to want to have like strong Aries because that is the foundation for all 11 steps that come after it, right? And so you want to understand who you are. You want to express your truth. You want to be authentic. You want to have a solid identity. You want to have constructive self-interest. You want to have self-awareness. You want to be independent. You want to have courage and confidence to go for it, to trust yourself, to take action, to have high energy, right? You want to have confidence. Like all of that is empowered Aries. It can be really instinctive. It can tend to its own needs, right? And that like really constructive self-interest, like that can really self-nurturing, right? And really nourishing itself, right? Like, because it's like self-sustainability, right? And self-sovereignty as well. And really having a strong solar plexus. This is really like the identity part of your body. And it's about your power in the world to really show up, put yourself out there from a position of power, strength, sovereignty, and really having a crystal clear identity of like who you are. And when you're solid in that identity, you can show up in such a way where like literally the energetics of your reality like then manipulate to form to who you say that you are. Because there's so much power and magnetism and like putting a stake in the sand and being like, this is who I am, this is where I'm going, and this is what's happening. And then like literally your reality like rearranges to meet you there. And so if you know like literally just how manifestation works, it's like you have to be the leading energy. You have to take action and show up and claim this is what you want. And then the universe meets you there, right? So many people aren't progressing and moving forward in their life, in their reality, because they wait for their circumstances to change for them to move. And it's like, that's literally just not how manifestation works, right? Like learn how energy works. It's like, you can't wait for the proof. You are the proof, right? Like you're waiting for the 3D to like match and mirror you back, like what you believe, what you think, who you say that you are. And it's like by you actually taking action as the version of yourself that you say that you are, that's when your reality mirrors it. So it's like really taking power and responsibility as like being the leading energy for your life and the reality that you want to create, and having full sovereignty and showing up as that version of yourself. And so it's really about identity work, and really this is so much of like what I support clients with doing, because identity work really changed my life. And it's so funny, right? Like I'll just give like a really simple example about this. Like I remember like I never saw myself as like someone who was like mothering or like a wife. right? And I was like, not that I'm like a mother or a wife yet, but I'm just gonna give this example. So like as soon as I like started like seeing myself as someone who is mothering and like wifey material, like not only did like my like the men that I would attract and change, but also like people like started like asking me to like babysit or like watch their pets, right? Or like house sit and like do all these kind of like wifey, like mothering things. And I was like, for 35 years, no one asked me to do this shit. And then all of a sudden, I started seeing myself differently. And so the opportunities and the things that people like were showing, the ways that people were showing up in my reality, um like presented itself were different. Like I was like, it's so funny, like one of my closest friends like had a dog, and I was like, I would always be like, I can sit your dog. And then but it wasn't literally until I shifted my identity and like saw myself as that like nurturing mother kind of archetype, that he asked me to watch his dog, you know what I mean? And I was like, right, because like I shifted and like became this like mothering energy. And actually I was kind of like always in that energy, but like never saw myself as that. And then I was like, no, I am really mothering. I am really loving. I am really like a caretaker. I love to take care of things. I love to be a housewife. Like, you know what I mean? And then all these like house sit, like cat sit, babysit, dog sit, like come stay at our house for free. Like, you know, like all these things started showing up in my reality. But it wasn't until I saw myself as that like those opportunities came in, right? And so it's like quite literally like how you see yourself is like how life just sees you. It just was always mirroring back to you. And so again, it's like, right, like this is, it's like you taking full responsibility for like the direction of your life. And it's not taking like dysregulated action, it's taking like sovereign action. And sometimes you do have to take dysregulated action, like I get it. But it's really like taking full responsibility for your energy and not being like taking place from like an egoic place, but like an embodied identity place. Because your ego is like your monkey mind, right? It's always going to keep you safe. It's always going to keep you small. It's always going to want you to stay in your comfort zone, right? Let's just say like this is your comfort zone. And actually, like I saw a reel of Christina the Channel, like really explain this really well on Instagram the other day, where she's like, you have this like, let me put it over here. Actually, let's just do this because it's easier. So like, let's say this is your reality. This is your comfort zone. She's like, you can take different actions, but it doesn't change your comfort zone or your identity or your frequency. So like, you can take, you know, you can change the way you dress or like the color of your hair. But if that's not like edging you out of your comfort zone, then you're not actually doing anything to change your reality. However, if you go vertical, and let's say you like invest in something, right? Like I actually just invested in something today that's going to expand my life and my reality, and it already has, right? I'm choosing a different vibration and frequency that's up here that shifts my frequency and my energy to this. Now I have like the full width of the circumference of my palm instead of this smaller comfort zone, or sorry, my whole hand versus my palm, right? And so it's like taking conscious and intentional action to claim something different, to claim that I'm actually going to take up more space in my life and reality and take up a whole hand width, right? Take up all of this empty space here instead of just sticking to my comfort zone of like, this is my former identity, right? And that's what it means to like actually like go vertical. If you hear like people say go vertical, it's like you can't take linear action because linear action gets you linear results. You have to take vertical action, right? And so taking vertical action in alignment of like, this is who I say that I am, puts you on a different timeline, because it puts you on a timeline that's like up here, and now your reality is like all of this. You can take up all of this space in your reality instead of just like this little palm space. And so it puts you on a different level. It puts you on a different frequency by taking vertical action instead of linear action. Linear action keeps you here. Vertical action has you ascend higher, right? And so it's funny too, because like your mind, like my mind came up with like all sorts of fear-based scenarios about why I should not take this vertical action, right? When I just had to, like, at the end of the day, you have to listen to the calling of your soul. And it's after taking the action that like things immediately can fall out of your reality, can shift, can you get all the clarity, things start to come in, more abundance comes in. But that happens because you led the energy, and things do fall out of alignment when you move up here, right? Because things down here, if they're not going to meet you up here, sometimes they fall out, right? And so that can be a habit, that can be a belief, that can be a person, like the things down here just have to go because they don't exist on this plane of existence. And so it's like you're always wanting to direct the energy by moving, by taking conscious action and intentions and choices to move yourself higher along the plane. And so it's like I'm stepping into more of my leadership energy, also Aries, could also be Leo, but like Aries gets the ball rolling, right? And claiming this is who I am. Like, let's say I'm claiming more of my feminine sovereignty, my feminine frequency, more of my leadership energy, more of just like the iconic woman, powerful woman that I came here to be. Like, I have to start moving up here, right? And so taking that action is a no-brainer for the version of myself who exists up here, right? And so it's funny too, because as soon as you take the action and you invest or you whatever, swipe, 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 you're like, oh, right. Like then the reality just immediately goes like this, and things rearrange and opportunities land and people come in and you get the clarity and you feel too like the energetic like shifts. And so it's all about really connecting to the identity and the version of you that you are becoming, the one who doesn't hold or bite their tongue, the version of you that doesn't play small, the version of you that takes up space and isn't afraid to be seen, the version of you who lives with an open heart, who lives in expansion and possibility and not in fear and lack. The version of you who is like confident and sure shit in who she is, who is very clear on her goals and where she's going, and is just like goes for it, right? The version of you who doesn't hold your past, who doesn't hold the stories of your past. And it is interesting because when you do take action to break free from your past, those stories do pop up. Like I always teach my students that like your past pops up when you're expanding. And so it's like knowing how to navigate it without letting your past pull you back. You have to drop it, you have to let it go, because the energy is going to be moving so fast that it's like you actually just can't keep it. And so it's just like, thank you past self for showing me this. Thank you ego for reminding me what happened in the past. And I'm also choosing to direct the energy here, and move forward. And it's really just having like such consistent self-awareness of your patterning, of your conditioning, and really just holding true in like your third eye and the vision of your mind, like who you are and where you're going. Because the version of you who like has achieved all the things doesn't have like those same limiting beliefs as you have. She thinks in expansion and possibility and opportunity. She's not like worried about like if she's going to be supported or like what Joe from down the street is going to say, because she's literally making impact and influence. She's too busy like lighting the fucking way to be worried about like what other people are going to be saying. And so it's really just that like newborn like confidence, when like a baby is trying to like stand for the first time and they fall down and they fall down and they fall down, but they don't have like stories attached to like when they fell down 2 seconds prior to like keep them from trying to stand up again. It's like that newborn confidence of like, if you don't have your past, like how much of your energy and free, like how free do you feel? How much energy do you gain by just dropping your past? Because again, like newborns don't have the conditionings, they don't have the stories, they don't have the programs, they don't have the beliefs yet. And so it's really like if I'm it's like the fool card. If I'm approaching my life from like fresh eyes and fresh energy and like anything is possible, like what decisions am I making? Where am I going? How am I showing up? Like who am I being? What am I embodying? And it's really just reconnecting to like your ambitions, your drive, your energy, your vitality, your vibrancy. And it's like if you had all of the energy, all of the resources, all of the confidence, all of the courage, the awareness, like the energy to move, like what are we doing here? Like how are we moving? How are we showing up? And so too, a part of this is really deconstructing all of the places that we hold shame in our body, because shame exists on a solar plexus level within our body and our nervous system that distorts how we see, view, and value ourselves. So it directly impacts our identity. So I always describe this as like, you have clouds over your sun. Your sun is your solar plexus, and there's like all of these like clouds, like these dark clouds that you're trying to see yourself through. And so if you're trying to see yourself through clouds, it's going to be really hard. And so you just have to actually remove the clouds from your energy field, and then you can see yourself clearly. And actually, the guides are reminding me that Neptune is conjunct the sun today in Aries, literally taking off your cloudy, foggy glasses. You're taking out your cloth from your sunglass case, and you're polishing your lenses in which you see things through. You're getting an updated prescription on your glasses, and you can see yourself clearly. And if you saw yourself clearly, if you saw yourself as God sees you, as the truth of who you are, how does that shift your life? How does that shift your reality? How does that shift the actions, the moves, the ambition, the drive, the virility, the assertion that you take? Because all of this is Aries energy. And so, like, think about kids. They're just like, mine, mine, mine. Like, they will fight for their possessions. And it's not like a combative energy, but it's more of like a claiming, like, this is my fucking fire truck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is my tutu, and this is what's happening, and this is where I'm going, and like, this is what I want. And it's just like getting crystal clear on that version of you who has everything that you want. And then how can you actually take action in the now moment, in the present moment, to embody her now? And so we have so much Aries energy to come. The sun, again, everything that enters Aries will cross over Saturn and Neptune, and will also link with Chiron here in Aries. And so Chiron here in Aries is also just like healing our identity, our ourselves, our literally like it's if you're born with Chiron and Aries, they say like you actually like don't know who you are until your Chiron return. And so it's like takes people with Chiron and Aries like 50 years to figure out who the fuck that they are. And so, but collectively, we're all like rediscovering who we are right now through like those new prescription as clear as fuck classes. It's like AI type level like clarity, you know what I mean? And so all of this energy will have Mars enter Aries, will have Mercury enter Aries, and they will all go over Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron. And we have this new moon in Chiron, this new moon in Chiron, this new moon in Aries, like mid to end April. I think it's on April 17th. And it's like, this is the start of this new version of yourself. And so it's this, I mean, this new moon is crazy. I'll make a different video about it when the time comes, but really use the next 4 weeks to get crystal clear on like the version of you who's coming, who you're going towards, and go like a fucking Ferrari towards this version of you. I'm laughing so hard because I think I said in maybe last week's video, like everything is like moving guns a-blazing full speed ahead. Now it's like red Ferrari energy. And if you know me, my red Ferrari is my sign. And it was so funny because I like asked, I wish I had a photo of this to like put up here. I asked Spirit if like for clarity guidance, if I should like go to this like event that I booked today. And it was so fucking funny because I intuitively, my body wanted this like falafel wrap that I had the other day. It was like when the body is like directing you somewhere, you listen. So, we drove the car to the falafel place, and it was incredible. But they have like, when they give you your like number, it's not like a typical number. It's like a saying, or like a person, or like, a screenshot from like a movie, whatever. And the thing that they gave me said literally go. And it was just like, okay, right, because this is the Aries energy. Like, we are at the start of the new year. Like, we are literally on the cusp. It's not even the cusp. Like, this is literally like we're in Fool Cards energy for how we want the next 365 days to go, because Aries energy is the start of the astrological zodiac. So like, you should be treating this as like January 1. Like, how do you want the rest of your year to go and to be? And so literally like Spirit was like, go. Like you're going. Get in your little red Ferrari, um, and go to the event, right? And then I'm like, right, because that is the energy. Like we're claiming different energy. Like we're going. Like this is now like we took all the time, we took all of the integration, and now we're in like the go period. And now it's like full, like we did the integration, we're embodied, like we're good, we're Gucci, we're good to go. And now it's time to actually fucking go. And it's time to take action, and it's time to move on everything that you've grown and built towards now. So it's like this is the year of like action and go. And so this Aries season is like setting us up to like be in this fast paced Ferrari go energy for the next 365 years. So like literally, especially this first week of Aries season, and how do you want the rest of your year to go? What do you need to do now to set yourself up to have opportunities, magic, momentum just flow in and meet you? And so that's why this like beginning of Aries stretch is so powerful, because again, the sun's with Neptune, it's with Saturn. It's like we're committed to where we're going and who we're being. And we're not even becoming this version of ourselves now. Like we're it. You're it. You are her. And so now it's time to go and act like it and be her and behave like her. So, and what does that require you to go do? Like you have to physically move. You have to physically change your energy, change your home, change something, like physically shift, take the bold action, like go for the thing, put yourself out there, join the league, do the dating app, like whatever the fuck it is, like join the club, take the trip, like literally anything that puts you in new energy. Like that's why I think moving is so magnetic. I was actually watching this class I'm taking, and they were like, if you want to like keep, and he was like literally like, if you want to change your destiny, move. And I was like, fucking facts. And so it's like literally like physically you can move like homes or houses, but like actually how do you move? Like you actually have to move now. Like where are you going? Like physically leave your fucking house. Physically like go to the fucking coffee shop on the corner. Physically get on the airplane. Physically go get in your car and like move location. Like the energy is now all extroverted. We're living in an extroverted external reality. And so you actually like need to be like in your car, like driving things forward and taking action and actually moving the energy. So there we go. That's Aries energy. We are getting a masterclass in Aries energy like the next 4 weeks. So it's a really powerful time to shift your reality, shift your destiny, create quantum change in your life by showing up and acting, like not like a pretend, like we're in a play, like we're an actor. It's like acting from this version of yourself that you have become. You are her, you are it, and time to move like it. So there you go. If you want support navigating any of this, want clarity on this version of yourself, your soul-led self, the truth of who you are, you can always book a one-on-one session. You can also join the 60-day glow up, which is one-on-one deep dive, like liberating your vitality, your vibrancy, your joy, your authenticity, and really just embodying this version of you. So in a way that you are unique and special and magical. So sending you all my love and enjoy this energy. Bye, guys.